5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for celebration. Amazing. Butler, a rookie free agent out of West Alabama.
Greetings and good evening, and welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, February the 3rd, 2026. Bonsoir, comment ça va? I am Drew, and welcome to week 22 of the National Football League, also known as Super Bowl week, ladies and gentlemen. This is the week that every single one of those 32 teams have been working towards since training camp way back in August of 2025. But here we are down to the final two. The New England Patriots making their 11th appearance in the big show, taking on the Seattle Seahawks, making their 4th appearance in the big show. This is a rematch of Super Bowl 49. We just saw the closing highlights of that Super Bowl where everybody and their mama knew we were going to give the ball to beast mode. Marshawn Lynch scored a game-winning touchdown with 20 seconds left and be a back-to-back 12th man Super Bowl champ, captivating what we thought was the real Legion of Boom. But we all know what actually happened. Still the wrong call. But we have an opportunity, if we are the Seattle Seahawks, to rectify that problem, that situation, that one play that has been haunting us for the past 11 years in this upcoming game on Sunday. And I am looking forward to tonight's dialogue, to tonight's discussion. Griff, how are we doing on this fine Tuesday? Shout out to the Roundtable. Wherever you are on this Tuesday night, thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to join Griff and myself and talk football. I know you've heard a lot about the game here over the past week since the AFC and the NFC championship game, and you're going to continue to hear it for the rest of the week as we build up and lead up to the game on Sunday. But we got a lot of football to talk about. But before we do all of that, special introduction to my man Griff this evening, and then we'll talk about a little bit of Black history and what it means to this country before we actually get into the show. Griff, what's cracking, my man?
Hey, man, look, coming to you live, 75 degrees here in Houston, Texas, man, where the weather is nice and not trying to run, but I am, man. Hey, we've been looking for this show, man. We didn't do a show on Friday. Felt kind of lonely, not talking to my people, to the round table and stuff like that, but looking forward to having this conversation, man, and talking about this game. I would tell you that opening again for me, man, that daggone Jordan. You know, that's the hottest song in the game right now, that T.I. that just released. I'm surprised that Facebook still let us on here with it being played right now. So, but, man, hey, look, man, let's talk some football, brother.
Man, before we talk about some football, I gotta recognize where we are In our calendar, we have the Black History Month notation on the screen, and the mantra that we should all live by, no matter where we are in this world, no matter how we show up in this world. It is, may the struggle, pain, endeavor, sweat, and blood of those fearless warriors never go in vain. Talking about your individual ancestors. We all show up in the world the way that we show up in the world. We had nothing to say about that when we entered this world and was birthed to our birth parents. I myself, I show up as the individual that I am. I am that I am because we are who we are. I know where I come from. I know who I come from as pertains to my ancestors, and I know spiritually who that I belong to, and that is my God Almighty, right? Now, Black History Month in these 50 states of America is not necessarily for Black people to sit here and reflect and talk about the contributions that we have had to this country. It is for the entire world to take an opportunity to actually learn about the contributions that Black Americans, that African Americans, that those that are from the larger African diaspora have contributed to the success, the building, the foundation, the stability, and the continued evolution of these 50 states in America. Should be 52, but that's a conversation for another day, right? So it is that opportunity for you individually and us collectively to come together during this month to set aside individual biases, individual prejudices that I may have had or experiences that I have going through in my life, and to learn, sit down and learn about what these contributions of a specific culture. We talk about history on a national stage as it pertains to, if you don't learn it, you are bound to repeat it or walk down a path that resembles it. And we are on a fast track to doing just that in this nation if we don't really come together and heed what we see that the message should be. Right, we all know the history of this country, and she shall have to answer for her deeds at some point, but that is not us individually who need to hold her account. It is an opportunity for us collectively to really open our eyes and our minds and to listen and learn with a clear conscience. That's how we continue to evolve. That is how we continue to mature individually. And that is how we become a better member of the community and our society in which we reside. So this Black History Month, I would challenge each and every one of us to learn about the culture that we may not be familiar with. Whether if I am a melanemic American or a melanated American, learn about a different culture and understand there is one race, and that is the human race. All right, we all show up in different shades, but we all belong to the same community. So happy Black History Month to each and every one of you. May it be a productive one, a safe one, a culturally enriched one for you and for your family. And come out on the back end as we head into Women's History Month in March, doing the same thing. So this is a year that is going to be a tipping point in this country, and we need to make sure that we are doing our individual job, because we all have a job, to make sure that it's leaning in the direction where our children and our grandchildren's grandchildren have a future that they can rely upon. So that is my Black History Month message to everyone. Appreciate y'all indulging me for a minute. Griff, it means something different to each and every one of us, right? Because we all show up in this world differently, experiencing a different journey. My experience for Black history are the contributions that me and my ancestors have provided to this country that is continuing to evolve is going to be different from another person's history. So you can never assume that you should already know something. But again, moments like this, months like this, provide us that opportunity to open up a different book, look on a different page to learn something different and expand our knowledge base. So I appreciate you indulging me on that, man. If you got anything you wanted to add, I'll turn it over to you. Other than that, we can get into some football. What do you got?
Look, first of all, man, you did something. You forced Troy to open up his encyclopedias and his dictionaries because you gave him some words he ain't never heard before, and so that in itself, you gave him an opportunity to learn. I'm gonna take the words from my guy Ted Lasso, man. In this world, we need to be more curious and less judgmental. And the
Mm,
only way you can be more curious is through learning and talking and asking questions. And I would tell you, man, that was the one beautiful thing about the military, because we have people that come from all different walks of life, and how we every month we was learning something different about people that don't look like us, that don't sound like us, but we learned that although we have our differences in a lot of ways, we are all the same. I come from Birmingham, Alabama. It has a history, a strong history of things that took place that I could be upset about. But on the flip side, I also it has a history of a lot of changes that came because, like you said, what our forefathers and foremothers did to get us to this point. So, Black history is our history. Yeah, it's 1 month that's set aside, but I celebrated 365 days of the year. I don't know if I'm offline or Drew is offline. All right. But yeah, he'll be back here in a second. But for me, uh, I look forward to this on my podcast that I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll be highlighting stuff that happened in Black history, but not your typical, not the Martin Luther King, the stuff that people hear about all the time. During this month, I always try to highlight and talk about people that nobody ever heard of before. So that's what I'll be doing. Um, Drew went bye, but he's back, Troy.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I thank you for
So,
that. Appreciate the commentary. You're
hey,
absolutely right.
one other thing I want to say, for those people that want to participate, and we going you got to be paying attention, close attention. You got to be here. You got how they say you got to be in it to win it. So at the end of the show, you're gonna have a chance to win $200 towards your Super Bowl party. And what's gonna happen is if you want to be a part of it, you got to type hashtag Super Bowl in the comment section. You got to type it in just like what you see on the screen, hashtag Super Bowl. And then what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like a wheel that's gonna be going around almost like the Price is Right, and then it's gonna stop on the person. And when it stop on that person, that would be the person that win that $200 toward their Super Bowl party. But you have to be present, which means you got to stay through the whole show to get that money. All right. So with that, I turn it back over to Drew.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. And last note on Black History Month, you're absolutely right. It is not the traditional Black History Month observer things that you would normally observe that we want you to pursue. It is to educate yourself and to expand your knowledge base. Now, let us get into some football. My man, like I said, week 22 is upon us, Super Bowl weekend, and both of these teams were 60 to 1 odds coming into the NFL season to reach the Super Bowl. 60 to 1 odds. That is the largest odds of two teams that have made it to the Super Bowl coming into a Super Bowl weekend that at the beginning of the season had a lot of unanswered questions, right? For the New England Patriots, you had a brand new head coach, a second-year quarterback, fresh off of a 4-win rookie season. And for the Seattle Seahawks, you had a brand new quarterback coming in who had proven in the past year that, hey, I can win some games, but maybe not when it really counted, after Geno Smith decided to go bye-bye and follow his head coach Pete Carroll down to Las Vegas. Well, Sam I Am, the gingerbread man, as I now call him and refer to him, has proven that he is not only a true leader, not only this year, but over the past couple of years that, hey, I have transition from that guy who saw ghosts against this exact same team when I was a New York Jet to now I'm the leader of this team. This is my team. I am leading this team into the Super Bowl where we are not only favored, but we are going to put our stamp on the National Football League this weekend. Well, they're going to have that opportunity. Griff, Grable is very familiar with this atmosphere as a player. This is his first time in the Super Bowl spotlight as a coach, but the exact same can be said for Coach McDonald. The Legion of Boom reincarnated, or is this defense, as you suggested last week, could even possibly be better than the Legion of Boom? If that is so, that means Drake May and the New England offense is in for a whole lot of problems on Sunday. But let us peel this onion back a little bit. How does Mike Grable's offense, led by second-year Drake May, who apparently had a shoulder injury in the AFC title game that he's nursing alone, but hey, 2 weeks off, you'll be all right on Sunday, so no issues there. How do the New England Patriots offense establish themselves early to where they can not only have some success moving the ball, but grab control of this game, control the clock, and keep that Seattle offense off of the field and ensure that the New England game plan, which again averaged 28 points a game this year, provides them what they consider a necessity to go against this dominant Seattle defense?
All right, so first of all, man, we all know that's the talk of the town, man. Seattle and their defense. Seattle has a great defense. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't do a lot of blitzing because of they getting a lot of pressure from their front four, and the secondary is good. But with that being said, we have also seen Seattle play against the Rams, and the Rams are successful in oftentimes against this defense. And so for the Patriots to have a chance in this game, one, they can't get behind in the sticks. They can't allow Drake May to be put in a situation where it's 3rd and 15 and stuff like that. They're gonna have to be able to execute, keep the short down. What they're gonna have to be able to do is spread the Seattle defense out. Now, they starters is great, but Seattle also they like to run a package and they bring some other guys in, and so they're gonna have to win the big plays when they get the opportunity. We've seen Puka Nacua do it a few times down the field. When they get that opportunity, they will have to take advantage of it. Another thing is that Seattle's defense, especially their linebackers, they like to come hard. But what we also know about Drake May is, hey, if they give him opportunities where he can run the ball, run the ball. He need to get down, but he need to run the ball. He can't make mistakes because he's been good at giving the ball away this year in his second year. But they're going to have to take advantage because Seattle struggles with mobile quarterbacks. And Drake May has proven that he can. That's all he done basically throughout the playoffs. He ain't beat no team with his arm during the playoffs because of the pressure that offense can receive. And hopefully be able to establish some type of running game. But those are the keys or the gaps that I think Seattle has. Seattle, you're not going to beat those two cornerbacks that they got over there or those safeties, but they do have a package where they throw some guys in there that they could expose and take advantage of. The Patriots offense is not in the same breath as the Rams offense. No, they're not. They're not. I would definitely say that they're not in the same league as the Rams offense. But if they never know, especially if Sam doesn't turn the ball over. When we'll get into that on the defense side. No, they're not. They're not the Rams offense, but they still got a chance. What Drew asked me was some gaps or some opportunities, and that's what I throwed out there. So I turn it back over to you, Drew.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that you said, right? New England has to play ball control. They have to establish the run and utilize Diggs' capabilities. Utilize Hunter Henry. Utilize both Henderson and their other back end receiver out of the backfield to play ball control against a very aggressive Seattle defense that does not need to blitz. So I would not look for them to try to apply additional pressure on Drake May to play, either contain him in the pocket or to make him happy in the pocket, feet happy in the pocket. It is more of just apply that pressure with the front four, and we're going to bring it just like the Philadelphia Eagles brought it up against Patrick Mahomes last year. The gaps in the Seattle defense is their aggressiveness. We talked about how good that back four is, that back five is, and you have possibly the defensive rookie of the year playing the free safety position, and the aggressiveness and the capability to get to the quarterback on the front four or with the front four, that there is that sweet spot in the middle of the field where Hunter Henry can eat, where Stephon Diggs can eat, where you can have those dig routes coming out of the backfield into the center of the field to keep those drives sustained. And yes, Drake May has the ability to not only escape the pocket, extend plays, but to pick up first down in huge chunks. We'll see how he gets hit the very first time, how he feels, and actually whether or not that shoulder is something to be concerned about. But look for Seattle's defense, the McDonald approach, to be very aggressive initially, no matter who has the ball first. I would be rather surprised if either team scores on their first possession. If you're taking odds on that, because it's going to be a field dim out type of first quarter, almost first half. So I wouldn't look for a high scoring first half. But at the same time, turnovers, as you mentioned, could play a big part. Now, looking at it from the other side of the field, Sam I Am, the gingerbread man, has really come into his own here over the past 6 calendar weeks or so. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to go 30-5, 30-6 over 2 regular seasons. So he has proven that he has earned the dialogue that has been thrown his way. Whether or not he's now in the top echelon of NFL quarterbacks, conversation for another day. Talk about the game here in front of us. With the solid run game that Walker provides, 1,000-yard season, you have the number 1 wide receiver in the National Football League in Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have a passing game that is extremely reliable. You have a shutdown defense that can actually give you points. What does the Seattle offensive approach need to be to ensure that, one, they keep that 28-point a game New England offense off of the field? If their defense does create a turnover for them, how do they turn that into points? Now, I know in the playoffs we say points are at a premium. When points are available, you take it. We all know a touchdown is much more favorable than a field goal. How do we punch it in and not settle for 3 if we're Seattle?
Well, again, you first thing you said up front, and I got that in my notes too. They gotta establish the run game early. Walker, let Walker do what he's been doing. I mean, they don't have Charbonnet, but let Walker do what he's doing. And the Patriots, they kind of, I mean, as good as that defense is, they'll have the ability to run. They run inside zones or whatever, some wham plays. They'll be able to get the Walker out there. Attack the young DBs. You talk about Smith and Jigga, but you got a guy, and his name is Cook. Another guy that's dangerous, that's at the disposal of Sam Darnold. And you see how big he came up in the NFC Championship game when they needed the most. But see, what they need to do, they need to the Patriots defense to switch out. So tempo, because the only way they can do that is by switching people out. Keep them on the field, not allow the confusion for those guys. And then, like you say, if they do get the opportunity to get some explosive plays with Smith and Jigga, do it. We know he will. But they basically.
So I was having internet problems earlier, and you were a little choppy in the last half of your commentary, but you were absolutely right. And I believe Seattle has a much more better offense for this specific game than the New England offense. The Seattle offense should be able to be more fluid, should have more opportunities to have those big strike plays because of Smith and Jigba taking the cap off of the defense with a receiver on the opposite side of the field that has actually done everything that he is trying to do. Cooper Kupp is a Triple Crown winner. Cooper Kupp is a Super Bowl MVP. Cooper Kupp has been there, done that, and gotten the T-shirt. So, yes, he's a very good option, number 2, for Sam I Am. But you establish dominance by running the ball. It is whether or not Walker can create or get through those holes that are created and turn a 5-yard run into a 15 or a 20-yard run on multiple drives. That is going to be the early separation factor for the Seattle offense to get Sam Darnold in a comfortable environment to where he can really feel good about opening the playbook up and taking those chances in the passing game that is going to create early separation for Seattle if there is any early separation. Big plays in the passing game. And that third factor, that third rail, the special teams aspect. We know what Shaheed has brought to the Seattle philosophy, the Seattle approach, the Seattle confidence level, the Seattle results since his trade from the Saints in the middle of the year. So Raheem Shaheed and the possibility of him having a punt return for a touchdown or a kickoff return for a touchdown at the very first half of the game could be the dagger that puts it into the heart of the New England Patriots faithful early on to where they will need a 28-3 type of comeback, but it wouldn't happen against this team. Now, that is the game plan for the offense. Seattle has to feel good going into this game. They are legitimately favored, right? And as long as Sam Darnold plays as we think Sam Darnold can play, you're confident that the Seattle Seahawks will obtain their second Super Bowl title. Now, I specifically talk about Sam Darnold being the better quarterback in this game. Sam Darnold isn't even the better quarterback in the eyes of the National Football League as a second-year quarterback because they both have phenomenal years. They both led their teams to where we are. They were both considered NFL MVP candidates at some point of the season, but turnovers, especially against that very same Los Angeles Rams team that you mentioned earlier, has kept Sam Darnold from the conversation that he also believes he deserves to be in, which is the NFL MVP conversation. Now, we've talked about it, the 5 candidates. We mentioned that last weekend. And NFL Honors is in 2 days, right? Thursday night, where all of these awards are going to be given and awarded out. And you believe that whether it's deserving or not, that discussion we can have later on. But realistically speaking, Drake May could be named the NFL MVP on Thursday. You and I both believe that it's going to be Matthew Stafford, whether it is a Lifetime Achievement Award, doesn't matter, or it's based off of the stats, or it's based off of the impact that he has had on his team in 2025. Whatever the criteria, these are most likely the 2 final candidates that will be considered. Who you got? And I know you mentioned last week Matthew Stafford, but do you think Drake May earns his bones by being one of the final 2 considered for the NFL MVP this year?
Well, here's one thing. I mean, this is selected before the playoffs even started. So, because if we was basing strictly on playoffs, Drake May wouldn't even be in the conversation because his numbers wouldn't even support it. But if you look at the play of both teams and the play of both players, I still have to get an edge to Matthew Stafford. And I don't think it's a journeyman award, or just because he's been around for a while. His numbers and what he put up this year is far better than what you've seen with Drake May. Yes, his completion percentage might be better than Matthew Stafford, but he ain't thrown long balls down the field. Most of it been short stuff underneath, and the receivers been making it. Yeah, I commend the young man. You took a team that was at the bottom of their division. Now they playing in the Super Bowl. But if it comes down to these two quarterbacks, the MVP award is normally given to a quarterback. I have to give it to Matthew Stafford, man. I don't even think it's.
We started at the bottom, now we're here. Drake May say, I done turned the team from the laughing stock of the National Football League to a Super Bowl appearing team. I mean, this is really unheard of, realistically. We haven't given it enough attention because of New England's somewhat lackluster schedule, but to turn a team around from 4-13 to 14-3 and be in a Super Bowl and have a second year quarterback and have a first year coach is absolutely amazing. But we are where we are. But it still doesn't mean that Drake May has performed to the level to where he should be the National Football League MVP. It is Matthew Stafford. It's not even close as it pertains to these two. It's much closer between Matthew Stafford and Christian McCaffrey, who should be on this. But we know, as Griff mentioned, it's most likely going to be in quarterback presentation. Yeah, I agree. It is not a lifetime achievement award for Matthew Stafford as a 37-year-old quarterback coming into the year with a bad back. Played 0 downs in the preseason, practiced 0 downs in the preseason, came in and led his team to one of the best records.
We lost Drew again, but he played lights out, man. I do not know what is going on, man. This is like never happened. Well, we both going out, but yeah, you went out again, Drew. Joker said,
I think
hey, you see what Adrian says? Hey, show me that you being sponsored by Boost Mobile without saying you've been sponsored by Boost Mobile.
Hey, Boost Mobile, y'all are not my carrier, but Griff, you're the one experiencing it right now. We just going back and forth with the internet monster tonight. Now, the NFL Offensive Player of the Year, right? I'm assuming that everybody can still see me. The NFL Offensive Player of the Year, not a consolation prize, even though that some people may consider it to be a consolation prize if you don't win an NFL MVP, is where we have a larger pool where it is not only individual stats, but it is impact, and it is how your team finishes the regular season. Now, for the Offensive Player of the Year, Drake May, again, in the same category, many people believe that if you're in both the Offensive NFL Player of the Year and the NFL MVP discussion, the consolation prize will be the Offensive Player of the Year. But it's not a guarantee that he is going to be named the Offensive Player of the Year, because the true Offensive Player of the Year is CMC in this category because of the impact that he has had on his team. Smith and Jigba had the best year out of any receiver in the National Football, leading the league in yardage and catches, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously his team is in the Super Bowl. And every one of these players led their team to their conference championship, or in CMC's case, the divisional round. Griff, I'm assuming you're sticking with your original pick of CMC being the Offensive Player of the Year as a consolation prize for not being named NFL MVP.
I just don't think that they would give. Like I said up front, the MVP quarterback award. We both know how important. CMC was to his team. He is the team. He was the offense. Most of the offensive production went through him. Smith and Jigga had an awesome season or whatever, but Offensive Player of the Year, for me, it'll have to be Christian McCaffrey. One of the best seasons that he had. Injuries, been plaguing him for most of his career, but this year he basically had to carry that team on his back.
Yeah. Hey, Christian, I feel you, man, with the combat internet, right? I feel like you're in Afghanistan. The nipper just not nippering tonight, man, for some reason. It's going in and out, but we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it do what it do. I agree with you. CMC is the offensive player of the year simply because of the impact that he has had and the success that the San Francisco 49ers have had riding his legs and the status being where he remained healthy and where they finished at the end of the season with all of the other injuries that they accumulated throughout the season, both on the offensive side and on the defensive side. The weight load that he carried was much heavier than the weight load that Jackson Smith and Jigba had. Having Cooper Kupp on the opposite side, having Walker at 1,000-yard rusher to rely upon, a quarterback in Sam Darnold to kind of facilitate the offense, and obviously that dominant defense. So I would be comfortable with CMC being named Offensive Player of the Year. We know how these honors this week have kind of fallen apart with how this Hall of Fame voting has gone. So the NFL honors is kind of tainted already. And I cannot wait to not see the Hall of Fame induction ceremony next summer. Cannot wait to not see. But if Drake May does get the Offensive Player of the Year, I would not be surprised either. Now, the discussion for defense.
It's a popularity contest at that point, then. It don't have nothing to do with being the best player on your team, because he was not the best offensive player out there. I'm just going to put it like that. Hey, let me say this very fast, Drew, before we move forward. In order to be a part of the Super Bowl party giveaway, you must type in hashtag Super Bowl with no space. No space. Miles, I need you to retype it in, okay? I need you to retype it in. Matter of fact, we need to take my name. I think I deleted mine, man. You got to take my name out. But no space in there. No space. Hashtag Super Bowl. And this is basically, as you can see on the screen, how Jordan got it going on the screen now. We'll be doing something later just like this. And wherever the names stop, that's who get the $200 for their Super Bowl party. That might get you a pack of wings and some chips.
It'll get you something. Don't do delivery because you're going to spend all your money on the delivery costs. Man, now, Defensive Player of the Year. Realistically speaking, this is not even going to be a close voting. I would be very surprised if it was close. At some point throughout the regular season, the Cleveland Browns had a number one ranked defense. At some point throughout the regular season and into the playoffs, the Houston Texans had a number one ranked defense. Both of these two defensive players are a problem. They are the first one that the offensive coordinator and the head coaches game plan for every single week. Myles Garrett had a record-breaking year. 23 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, breaking a record that was once held by another great defensive end. And Will Anderson Jr. just continues to ascend, having the number one ranked Houston Texans defense, having them go through the second half of the season where they not only had a phenomenal second half of the year, but they were led by that number one ranked defense. And that number one defense was led by Will Anderson Jr. Now, Griff, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that this is Myles Garrett's award. I would be extremely shocked if it is not Myles Garrett. The entire NFL community would be extremely shocked if it is not Myles Garrett. The question is, should Myles Garrett want to stay in Cleveland? That's the real question. What do you think?
Hey, Myles Garrett needed to do a DeMarcus Lawrence and go somewhere where he know he's going to win, man. He ain't getting no younger. Cleveland just got too many what ifs, too many question marks in Cleveland, especially with your favorite offensive coordinator coming to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. So if I'm Myles Garrett, first of all, I think, I'm an Alabama guy and I love Will Anderson. Brother played great. Let me make sure before we lose connection again. But Myles Garrett with him, winning, breaking the sack record this year and all that stuff, man. This is probably the easiest one for the voters all of the
Yeah.
awards that they got to do. This was probably the easiest one. It'll be a significant emotional event for some people if Myles Garrett was not selected as the Defensive Player of the Year. As well as Will Anderson played, it still will be a significant emotional event. But I would
Yeah.
definitely be looking to go somewhere else, man, where I got an opportunity or a chance.
Yeah. I agree. It's Myles Garrett's award. Troy, you mentioned that he shouldn't have signed the extension. What extension and who are you talking about? Because Myles Garrett signed a $40+ million contract. So he getting that paper. Was it Troy? Yeah, they're punishing the Patriots for the scandals, whether it was the Flake Gate, whether it was Spygate. Um, that's a legitimate question to ask, right? We have both acknowledged, we've all acknowledged that the Hall of Fame selection process is broken. The 50 people, you need 40 out of the 50 to say yay before you can say, okay, well, this person is tapped. Bill Belichick has coached as a head coach 6 Super Bowl champions, 6 championship teams in the past 20 years. Robert Kraft, and I am not pulling for either one of them. I'm not making an argument for either one of them. I'm just stating the facts. Robert Kraft bought this team 30+ years ago. We talk about certain teams not making it to the big show for X number of years. They've been there 11 times in their team history, and they got 6. What do you think, Griff? Does the Flake Gate, Spy Gate, any other gate that you want to levy at both Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, because it's eventually going to trickle down to him as soon as he is eligible, is he going to be a first ballot snub? Everybody who has a football brain would say, well, Tom Brady is a first ballot Hall of Famer, blah, blah, blah. But we've seen what we've seen here in the past few days as it pertains to these two individuals, the head coach and the team owner, not making the Hall. Now, is that fair? Or is it people are finally getting back at the Patriots for what they perceive was cheating in some capacity way back when it don't matter no more? Because at this point, the way that balls are deflated, inflated, kicking 80-yard field goals, bro, what are we saying?
My thing is, if they cheated, then why they weren't stripped of their titles? I mean, we can sit up here and we can have if they cheated, and that's what we holding as the criteria, not putting those guys in as first ballot. Uh, why wasn't they stripped of their titles? I mean, again, that's why you get off into this bullcrap where it's human and all this other stuff, and that's where the error is at. Tom Brady, even though he's with these guys, he won't get wrapped up there. He will be at first ballot. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all go ahead and clock that one. He will be a first ballot guy because he was the face of the NFL for so many years. Belichick didn't have a great relationship with the NFL. And a lot of people know that they didn't like the way he interviewed and stuff like that. That also plays a part in this. Robert Kraft, some of his got to do with some of his stuff off the field, not just with the Flake Gate and all this other stuff, but he had some other things that might have tarnished his opportunity going to first ballot wise. But Tom Brady gonna be first ballot. Not only because of his Super Bowl wins and the times that he took his team with the Patriots, but also he went to Tampa Bay and also won the Super Bowl.
This is wild.
That's my take on it.
This is wild. This is hilarious to me, right? In all honesty, why people are losing their ish because Bill Belichick was not named a first ballot Hall of Famer. Why people are losing their ish because Robert Kraft, as a team owner, which is completely different criteria. Why can we only select a certain percentage of those that are being considered, right? There are 5 players or 5 members being submitted for interest into the Hall of Fame. We can only take 3 out of the 5. We have a criteria that or a quota that we have to meet, that we can only let in X number of people, because I play quarterback. You play defensive end. You were a coach. You were a team owner. I was a kicker. And based off of our individual accomplishments in the positions or the roles that we filled, that should not keep me from the hall whenever I'm considered, whether I'm a first ballot or this is my last chance, like Kenny Anderson making it to the hall, or Roger Craig making it into the hall. The running back from the San Francisco 49ers in the early 80s that kind of transitioned the role of the running back in the National Football League. Phenomenal running back. Not the Roger Craig we all know and love in the chat and see every now and then, but the 49er. Now, what perplexes me is you ask a legitimate question. If we are holding them accountable because we believe that they acquired those championships through some fugaziness, whether it was the Flake Gate, Spy Gate, whatever other gate that you want to tag onto them, you have to do what Griff said and strip them of those titles. But we're not going to do that retroactively, because then we are admitting to the public that this billion-dollar corporation, this billion-dollar entity that is the National Football League, is not having the results decided on the field like it should be. You said Tom Brady is a first ballot. Is he, Griff? How is he not associated? How did he not benefit if there was Deflategate, if there was Spygate, when I knew the plays that you were going to play, call and run, because I know that your playbook. Is this what Waterboy was all about? Why should Tom Brady be a first ballot? Because he did it on the field with two different teams? Or does he get the same treatment as his coach and team owner? He will be a first ballot because this process will get thrown into the trash at the end of this year. So the NFL will fix that. They still will get talked about next summer. Now, getting back to the Super Bowl, man. We talked about the approach that the offense has to take for both the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Now, let's focus in on each defensive game.
Hey, right fast before we do that, hey, we need to reset the giveaway. So I need everybody to go in the comment section and type in hashtag Super Bowl 60. So that, and the reason why we're doing this is because I typed it in, and then our page typed it in. So we could possibly win, and I don't want to win. And I don't want to have to do this thing over and over again. So everybody that's present right now, type in hashtag Super Bowl 60 in the comment section. No spaces in there. Hashtag Super Bowl 60. So that you can win this $200 for your Super Bowl party. All right, so let's get to the defense, man.
I can't believe we got to try to force people to do the thing to get some money. The Seattle and New England defensive approach, right? Both of these defenses are very good. The Seattle is the number one scoring defense in the National Football League, keeping their opponents to below 17 points a game throughout the year, and they've tightened that down. Against other teams not named Los Angeles Rams. And they've shown throughout the year that if you are not the Los Angeles Rams, we have a defense that can smother you. Now, in the playoffs, yes, the New England Patriots offense has been suspect. I've highlighted their ability to put 28 points on the board and have done so throughout the regular season. But in the playoffs, the offense has not really shown up. They've won the games they've won by the defense, right? I got it. They went against three very good defenses, and the Chargers defense, the Texans defense, and then the Broncos defense, and are now going against the number one ranked defense. So that offense is going to have to be the reason that the New England Patriots win this game if they are going to win this game. It is not going to be because of the dominance of the New England Patriots defense, in my opinion. Griff, based off of what you know about the New England defense, which I consider to be somewhat of an opportunistic defense, what approach does Mike Vrabel have to take to slow down, because you're not going to be able to shut them down, in my opinion, slow down a Seattle offense where Smith and Jigba or Cooper Kupp or Walker or Sam I am is not the real difference maker and or a special team event for Seattle. What does New England have to do to create a turnover from their side of the ball?
So, like I said, like one, they can't allow Seattle to run the ball. We talked about what Seattle had to do to win, but what the Patriots have to do, one, they cannot allow Kenneth Walker to control the flow of the game. Because if he can establish a running game, then now you got DBs and whatever stepping up, and now you got your secondary, which is a young secondary out there all on the island by themselves with Smith and Jiggle, with Cooper Cup, and creating problems. So that's one of the things they got to do. They got to force. They got to force Sam Darnold for some turnovers. We know as good as Sam had this year, got to force him into some situations where he and they cannot allow the special teams to beat them. We talked about Rashid. They can't let Rashid get loose. And we ain't even talking about, I think Seattle might even incorporate him a little bit more in the offense in this game. That could be even more of a problem for the Patriots. But they got to stop the run, take opportunities when they present they, because there's going to be some opportunities that they're going to present themselves where they can get some turnover.
I agree. For the New England Patriots to legitimately have a shot in this game, I believe that the Seattle defense, or not the Seattle defense, but New England defense has to create some turnovers. They have to force Sam Darnold to become turnover prone. They have to force a fumble by punching out the ball, whether it's in the run game or whether or not it's in the pass game. They have to be opportunistic and try to create turnovers, just not have them be created in the flow of the game. They have to be able to possibly create points for their team because offensively, I just don't believe that they match up against the Seattle defense well enough to where their offense will be able to take those opportunities. So for me, the offensive or the defensive game plan for the New England Patriots is to be as extremely aggressive as possible, try to apply pressure to Sam Darnold, to confuse him, to get him to hurry his throws, and possibly be the Sam Darnold that many people believe is still hiding out behind that tree back there, waiting to resurface and turn the ball over. For as much success as he has had, you are correct. The reason that he is not part of the MVP conversation is because of those turnovers that he has had. Mike Vrabel will attempt to implement that policy or that practice. Everything is going to hinge on how well of a first quarter that Walker has in the run game. If Walker can create enough success to where his legs are extending drives, especially the very first drive for the Seattle Seahawks, then the Vrabel defense could be in for a very long night. Whether this is a high-scoring game or whether or not this is a defensive battle, dare I say, New England is going to have an Herculean type of effort from the Patriot defense for them to be able to get that seventh title for the Patriots. Now, on the opposite side, everybody is giving the Seattle defense the tip of the hat, the nod, the so-called recognition, the possible praise that they may rightfully deserve, but you still have to earn it on the field. Up to this point, they have been that team. We've referred to them multiple times to them as the equivalent, maybe possibly even better than the historic Legion of Boom that was part of that team's success in 2013, 14, and 15. Can the game plan that the Seattle defense take, the 12th man, so to speak, be the difference maker? And will it be the difference maker in this game? Do you foresee Seattle leading the Emerald City to their second Super Bowl title? Or do you see them having to play it kind of close to the vest to make sure that the offense has an opportunity to win this game for them?
No, man. I think the dark side, that's what they call themselves, the dark side. I think the dark side is they gonna come in and they gonna show it. They gonna do what they've been doing all year. Troy, you right. He only had 2 bad games, and that was against the Rams. We talking about Sam Donald. I don't think he's gonna do much to mess this game up, but I just think that this defense is gonna keep Drake May under duress. And all they gotta do is do what they watch the Texans do and watch the Broncos do. Both of those defenses had those games won, but they didn't have the offense. They didn't have the offense that Seattle has. They can't go with this offense. And so I think the defense is going to get pressure on Drake May. I don't think they're going to allow Drake May to scramble, get away with it. And I think they might even score a point or two.
Yeah, I get you. And Troy asks a very good question, right? As it pertains to the approach that the New England Patriots offense is going to take against what do they call, Griff? What do they call themselves?
Dark side.
The dark side, right? So for them to have success, they're going to go a lot of wide receiver screens. Who has the bigger game? Is it Stephon Diggs? Or is it Jackson Smith and Jigba? Or is it Cooper Kupp? Or is it Hunter Henry? Is it somebody else? That is the question that is going to add up to which team offensively will have more touchdowns, create more points. Because in this game, it's going to be touchdowns over field goals. It's not necessarily get the points where you can get them. It is going to be we need to score a touchdown because our defense has the ability to keep you out of the end zone. So 7 points just might be enough, no matter the team. Seattle has what you would believe to be the better defense. Seattle has what you would believe to be the better offense. Seattle is coming into this game as the favorite, but we all know you have to win it on the field. Yeah. Griff. All right, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Both of these two teams have a powerful offense because they both score points. Both of these two teams have a very, very good defense. Seattle has the better of the two. When you have two teams that match up well up against each other, what is the usual difference maker? You've already talked about Rashid Shaheem and the difference that he has already had, the impact that he has already had in his young time with the Seahawks this year. What do you think is more likely? Shaheed scoring a kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown, or the New England Patriots defense creating just lost Griff before you even get an opportunity to answer that question. The New England Patriots defense creating points for New England.
He's going to have more opportunity to score than New England is going to score. That's just my take. On the line of the Patriots. My bad yet?
Yeah, man.
This is crazy, man. I'm telling you, man, I think China is taking over the internet, bro. This ain't never happened where it happened to both of us going back and forth, bro. This is some bull crap right here. But honestly, I just think that to answer your question is I think Shaheed probably have a better chance of scoring a touchdown than that on the other side. You say they match up perfectly, I don't think so. And the difference in this particular game is going to be the offense. And here's the thing. I don't care how good your defense is, they get tired. And Patriots, I would tell you that Patriots offense is not going to be able to sustain drives to get a defense enough time to get tired and to get some rest. What happened is Sam Donald going to stop the cats up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, hey, we've struggled our way through this episode because of the internet issues, the connectivity issues, the atmospheric conditions, as we would want to say, as to why we're not getting the connection that we want. Now, for a vast majority of the Roundtable audience, so know that through our 3-year journey with this show, that Griff is a diehard Alabama faithful. I am a diehard Louisiana State University faithful fan. And every opportunity that we get to kind of bring up
Here we go.
competition between these two huge Southeastern Conference schools, we try to bring that to the audience to kind of give each one of these collegiate athletes their just due. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Crimson Tide decided to bring their bus down to Baton Rouge this past weekend, and they were summarily spanked by those Lady Tigers by 40 points. Griff, what you got to say about this, man?
Nothing. I don't have nothing to say. Hey, I might say something, and then it might cut out, man. So I'm just going. The way this night been going, I'm just gonna be quiet, man. Congratulations to the Lady Tigers.
Hey, heck of a regular season win, Lady Tigers. Y'all earned it. Running through the SEC schedule 20-2. Got another huge game this Thursday night against the Texas Longhorns in a rematch from a couple of weeks ago. So finished strong in the regular season.
Y'all see how my boy do me? You see how he do me? We was talking NFL football. And I mean when I say he shift gears to put this bull crap up here.
Oh, nice bull crap. It's not bull crap, bro. If it was the score was reversed, I would have give y'all the same props.
Man, we would not be talking Alabama right now if the score was reversed.
We sure would.
We'd be talking about baby sharks or something. We sure would be talking about
baby shark.
Oh,
Hey, Lady Tigers, man, they got some phenomenal basketball players on that team, phenomenal basketball players in the college ranks and in the WNBA. So shout out to all of the female basketball players. Before we log off for the evening, the Winter Olympics, shifting gears, speaking of shifting gears, kicks off with the opening ceremony happening on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, before the Super Bowl weekend. So if you're into the winter sports, the ice skating, the figure skating, the downhill skiing, hockey, and every other cold weather game that you can put under the Olympic umbrella is going to be happening here over the next couple of weeks. If you are a follower of a particular sport, hopefully your favorite athlete does well, no matter the event that he or she or they are competing in, and represent themselves, their family, and their nation in a positive light. So best of luck to all of the Olympic athletes that are going to be competing in the 2026 Winter Olympics here in the next couple of weeks. Now, Griff, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for the Super Bowl comments.
Jordan got the thing going rolling right now, man. So where it stops, nobody knows. But whoever name it stop on, that's where the money go. The last chance to enter your name, you got to put hashtag Super Bowl 60 in there. If you have not, if you don't see your name on the screen, last chance. I see Harold, I see Miles, I see Corey, I see Christian, I see Marcette. Last chance.
Last chance.
Last chance. Last chance. All right, Jordan starting it right now, ladies and gentlemen. So these are the names. It's rolling. Oh, Marcette. That's my guy right there. Hey, man, you got to hit me up. Send me your cash app. Fred, you too late, brother.
Fred came in at the last minute.
Fred, you came too late, dog. He mad, right? Fred back hurt right now too, man. Damn it, you too late, Fred. So that's Marcette. I know exactly who that is. So I'll be reaching out to you, Marcette. We'll discuss how we get you your money, man, for your Super Bowl party. Just hit me up. Hey, matter of fact, text me or send me your Cash App or your Zelle. You just tell me how you want it, and I'll make sure you get your money, man. Congratulations, man. I appreciate y'all. It's been a good year, man. We're doing the show on Friday, but it's the end of the season, man. It's just crazy how fast the season went by.
Yeah.
Before I turn it back over to you, Drew, I just want to say thank y'all for y'all continued support to sit up here, to sit up here and put up with me and Drew, even with our internet failures today. I don't know what the hell going on. It's raining outside, but I got fiber. I got actually fiber here now. I ain't know what you call it, so I don't know what's going on.
And it's still going out.
It's crazy, man. I just had fiber put in this joker, so I don't know what the hell is going on now. It's really frustrating, but the point of the matter is, man, I really do appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out, man, and thank y'all for y'all continued support. Drew, I turn it over to you, man.
Man, you're part of that Texas grid where y'all are all connected in one switch. So somebody playing with the switch. That's why your internet keep going out.
Yeah, yours is going out too, though. So let's explain that, man. Both ours is going out.
Hey, I blame it on atmospheric conditions. Great show. Great beginning to Black History Month, and I absolutely meant what I said at the beginning of the show. It's a perfect opportunity, just based off of the actions that are happening in this country, where cultural clashes are being used to push an agenda that it's not really about culture at all. It's not really about ethnicity at all. It's not really about where you come from or where I come from. It's about making sure that we buy into a system that continues to fuel the beast that has been taking advantage of the 300 million plus people in this nation. So use this month to peel that onion back as many layers as you possibly can to help improve the community that which you reside. This upcoming Super Bowl could be a blowout, could be one for the ages. We simply do not know. Who's to say, as we've famously once heard. Looking forward to the conversation on Friday night. We'll provide our predictions, but for the most of us, we already know who we're going to be pulling for, who we are going to be supporting, and who we are predicting may win. A special shout out to my number one Seattle fan, my man Jason Legg. Best of luck to your team in the 12th man this weekend. Best of luck to all of the New England Patriots.
We'll be recapping the winners and the losers of the award show, the ESPYs. When at the NFL honors, we'll be recapping.
Oh yeah. On Friday night we shall recap the NFL honors as it pertains to who won what award. Harold, you said it's all about politics. It may be all about politics. I don't know. We shall see. But y'all have a safe and a phenomenal week. We only have 2 episodes left in this roundtable season. And Friday night, again, the invitation is always free. If you want to come on Friday night on air to discuss what you believe is going to happen in the big show, by all means, reach out to Jordan, myself, or Griff, and we'll provide that login information for you. We will be back here on Friday. Y'all have a safe and a blessed week. As we always say, take care of yourselves. Keep your head on a swivel. Drink water. Stay in your lane. Take care of your family. And if we have that opportunity, please do something nice to someone that you may not even know, because it just might be the best thing that happens to them on that particular day. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. Stay warm. Y'all be breezy.
At 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for a celebration. Amazing. Butler, a rookie free agent out of West Alabama.